Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Hi there, welcome along to the Ladies' Day Postcast. We are looking ahead to Friday at Aintree, a fantastic event on and off the track where the ladies of Liverpool all turn out in force and hopefully back some winners. And hopefully, along with Graham Rodway and David Jennings, I'm Bruce Millington. We're also joined by Tom Nugent. Hopefully we've got the wisdom to provide those winners for you. So grab a pen and paper, pin back your lug holes, and we will go through the card in chronological order, and hopefully there'll be some decent betting advice in there. We'll start off with the 140. It's the Alder Hey Children's Charity Handicap Hurdle, a grade 3 over 2.5 miles, 22 runners. So it's a real tough start, and it's wide open, Tom Nugent, isn't it?
It is indeed. 7-1 the field there at the moment. Thomas Campbell, your favourite. North Hill Harvey is next in alongside Rather Be at 8-1. Geordie Deschamps is next in at 10s alongside Ice Cold Soul. Dreamberry at 12-1 and at 16s bar.
OK, we'll start with you, G-Rod. How are you seeing this one? You got it all sussed?
Couldn't have made it much harder, could they, to start? What a tough race. I think North Hill Harvey will stay 2.5 miles. He might improve for it. He's going to be among the market leaders. Hawkeye always runs well at Aintree. Another one always runs well at Aintree is Clondor Kempfer. Could see those running well. But the one I've fallen on is the bottom weight, Crystal Lad for Gary Moore. Was impressive when winning quite a useful race at Fontwell a couple of starts ago. The second come out and won nicely at Newbury next time, and stepped up on that when fourth at Sandown last time in a hotter race off a higher mark. And I think the ground also that day might have been a bit softer than ideal. I think the better ground will really suit him. Gary Moore had a winner at on Grand National Day last year at 20s. Ubak, I think what it was, and seems to go well. His runners seem to go well here, and he's stable in form. So I think that could run well for it. It's about 20-1.
20-1 Crystal Lad for Graham Rodway. What do you think, DJ?
The two I like, Bruce, are Geordie Deschamps and Rather Be, both kind of unexposed novices who I think are better than the marks. Rather Be came down very early in the Martin Pipe, but his form from earlier on in the season is working out quite well. That form, just being beaten by Coeur de Leon, who ran well in the Triumph, is working out well. And, you know, he ran okay in the Champion Bumper last year as well. So I do think off 136 on a flat track like Aintree, he's very interesting. And Geordie Deschamps, we've spoke about him loads. I think Graham had a fortune on him one day at Newbury. He was just beaten. I think better ground will suit. Jonathan Moore has won on them before at Aintree, so he has course form. The jockey gets on well with him. He's rated 135. I think he's a bit better than that. He's obviously a little bit soft and was disappointing behind Willoughby Court the last day. But double figure price, definitely... he could just be a bit better than his mark. So Geordie Deschamps and Rather Be will be my two.
He is a really interesting horse, Geordie Deschamps, because they punt him every time he runs like he can't get beat. Last time out in that race against Willoughby Court, he went off 7-4 favourite. I think he was 7-2 or 4-1 in the morning. He was absolutely smashed. I just couldn't understand why Barry Garrett is riding the other one, Dreamberry for John Joe. That confused me a little bit. I don't know where to be put.
But Johnny Moore has won on Geordie Deschamps, so hopefully that's why.
Okie doke. Tom, have you got a strong fancy here?
Not too strong, but I'm going to forgive Zubair's shocker in the Betfair Hurdle. He steps up in trip here, and I'm going to give him an each-way shout at 16.
16s, okie doke. Well, let's move on to the 220. It's the Krabby's Top Novice Hurdle, a grade 1, 2 miles. And I guess Moonracer, looking to atone for his disappointing show in the Champion Hurdle, heads the market, does he, Tom?
He does, alongside River Wild, the two of them there at 5-2 at the moment. Mount Muse is next in at 3s, and it's 10-1 bar.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, this one, Graham. I had a look at it and can't make any sense of it, so I'm going to rely on you.
Yeah, it's another really trappy contest, isn't it, really? When you look at it, you think, God, they've all got a chance. My Moonracer, obviously a bit disappointing in Champion Hurdle. I mean, his form before that, when he beat Ballyandy, it's worked out quite well. Ballyandy ran well in the Supreme, despite finishing only 3rd or 4th. What's the other one? The River Wild, that ran in the Supreme. I don't know how strong that form is this season. I mean, we saw a cracking renewal of that last season. I'm just not sure it was the strongest of races. I'm keen to take him on. The interesting runners, obviously, Mount Muse for Malcolm Jefferson won it with Cyrus Darius, was it, a few years ago? Absolutely bolted up last time at Kelso in the grade 2. That I think Cyrus Darius might have won as well before he came on here. However, they're all around a terrible sort of price for me. 5-2, 11-4.
There's got to be some each-way value here, hasn't there,
exactly.
G-Rod? What have we got?
I'm going to take a chance on Ping Shu, who, albeit ran very poorly last time in the Supreme. But Colin Sizzard's runners, as we all know, didn't really fire at Cheltenham. He had some decent form before that. Ping Shu, he won nicely at Cheltenham 3 starts ago. If he comes back to that sort of form, he could go well double figures. And Tizzard's coming back. He had a winner the other day, second yesterday. I think his horses might be coming back to form.
G-Rod opens up with a couple of 20-1 pokes. Ping Shu. What do you think, DJ?
I think the best novice potentially in Ireland or England is running this race, Bruce. I backed Mount Muse at 5-1 last week, and I was very happy with that. I think he'll go off favourite. I think he's exceptional. I really do. The time he was beaten, he basically is unbeaten, because the time he was beaten at Wetherby, he completely went 101 in running. He completely idled, didn't know what he was doing, and got caught on the line. If the horse had come up to him earlier, he would have fought back. And Malcolm Jefferson said after the race he learned so much from that, and you could see that next time at Doncaster. He was about a length up over the last against the Grinder that day at Doncaster. He won by 14. He was unbelievable the last day at Kelso. Now, I know you can say that the race fell apart a little bit, but Capitaine was in there, and Capitaine I think is a Grade 2 winner, so Fairly Grey was well backed as well. Like, it wasn't a desperate race, and he made mincemeat of them. This has been the plan all year. Malcolm Jefferson knows what he has. He thinks this is the best horse he's ever had. I think he could be right. I think he's very, very good, Mount Muse. Okay,
very strong stuff from DJ. What do you think, Tom Nugent?
You'd be definitely out to kind of get Moonracer anyway. You might be worried about his fragility there after pulling up the last day. River Wild, I wouldn't crab that run in behind Lebec too much now. I think that form could work out okay in the end. Obviously, Moonracer probably just lacked a bit, Mellon lacked a bit of experience on the day, but I think River Wild could be okay. But after hearing Dave's case there for Mount Muse, I might be rethinking my tactics.
You should rethink it.
Okay. Persuasive stuff, DJ. 250, the Betway Mile Main Novices Chase. Grade 1, disappointing in terms of numbers, but not in terms of quality. 2 real crackers doing battle after one of the most fascinating race and mad races that we've seen at the Cheltenham Festival in many years. Might Bite and Whisper. They dominate the market.
They do. Might Bite now. Your odds on 8-13 favourite. Whisper next in at 5-2, and it's 12's bar.
And you get your money back as a free bet with Paddy Power if you finish second. So I should think plenty of people will be back and Whisper on that basis. What do you think will happen here, G-Rod? I mean, my reading of it is that Whisper was never getting within a million miles of Might Bite. I think Might Bite could be an absolute superstar. I mean, I'm not mad one for lumping on 8-13 shots, but I've seen a lot worse 8-13 shots. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's probably the most talented 3-mile chaser around. I can't wait to see him next season. I think he could really be something special. He's so great to watch as well, and he blasts off in front. I know these people keep crabbing his jumping because he's a bit chancy, but that's kind of what I like about him. You're never quite sure if you're going to get a great jump or if he's going to have a guess, but I mean, had he not fallen at Kempton, you'd be looking at an absolute superstar who was coming here unbeaten, having won. I mean, he should have won the Cheltenham race by a mile. He should have won the Kempton race by a mile. I can't take him on. Well, I don't even think Whisper. I don't really fancy Whisper that much at all. I mean,
can something else provide the forecast answer then at a big price?
He was very lucky. I thought to get so close. Maybe Callet Mad for Twiston Davis. The only worry is that Twiston Davis, his horses are not exactly firing all cylinders since Cheltenham. But, I mean, this is quite progressive. Could improve for the step-up in trip. I'll probably take a chance on that for the forecast.
We're recording this before the Thursday action, in case Bristol Demire pisses up and you're thinking, what the hell's G-Rod on about? David Jennings, what do you think here?
I agree with you, Bruce. I think this Might Bite is just so exciting. And I kind of like the way we don't really know what he's going to do. I suppose you could say Duvan got injured in the Queen Mother, but prior to that, he was just flawless and you knew exactly what he was going to do at every fence. Might Bite, you just haven't got a clue. And that's what makes him all the more intriguing. Like, he won't have won this race until he's over the line, as we saw in Cheltenham, and he is got that scorpion streak in him. You just don't know what he's going to do, but he has so much ability. He's by far the most likely winner of the race. If somebody said to me that argued strongly that 8-13 was a good price, I couldn't argue the case against it. One thing that Graham did say there that's interesting, Callet Mad, if I could get a price on Callet Mad to win the 3-horse race, I suppose, without Might Bite and Whisper, he's the outsider of the whole field, so he'd be the outsider of that market as well. He travelled like an absolute dream in the 4-miler. If you actually watch the race again, he was going as well as anything at the second last. He didn't quite get up the hill. I think he needs a flat track. He's not the stoutest there in the world, but he's a good jumper and he's a good horse. So I'd be very interested in Callet Mad, perhaps without Might Bite, but certainly in the without Might Bite and Whisper market.
Okie dokie. And Tom Nugent, what do you think will happen?
Well, sure, this might bite. Like, he nearly turned around in the straight in Cheltenham. Like, he's an absolute head case. But if they've got him to concentrate at all and keep him going forward, like, he could win very, very easily indeed. Can't see him being beaten if he's concentrating. I saw somebody talking about on Twitter there during the week, where is the paddock in Aintree? Is it past the finish line?
Oh, blimey, I'm just trying to think.
Is that a factor? Like, if he keeps going,
No,
if
I
he keeps
don't
going
think
past
It's at the end of the straight, past the finish line.
Oh, that's perfect then, isn't it?
Behind the grandstand.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Like,
do you
that
think
could be a
do you
factor
think he's
if it
looking
keeps
for
him
the
going forward.
paddock?
Well,
it's more the stable boxes that they hanker for, isn't it, than the
Well,
paddock?
they generally say they're looking for home anyway, one or the other, so they have to come up the chute in Cheltenham. That's maybe why he came up to the rail. So
Yeah, I don't know.
He's done it before at Cheltenham as well. Once over hurdles, I remember him veering off a little bit like that. So maybe it is just Cheltenham.
Okay. Well, exciting to see what Might Bite can do, and we will look at the Melling Chase next.
Check out this incredible horse racing offer from Paddy Power. For the first 5 races at Aintree today, it's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second. Exclude shop bets. Max £20 per race. TNC supply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, the 325 Aintree is the third of our Grade 1s. It's the JLT Melling Chase. And if the previous heat is all about Might Bite, this is much more open. It's a really, really interesting contest on a really difficult punting day. Tom Nugent, what's the latest from Paddy Power on the Melling?
yeah, Fox Norton is your 11-4 favourite at the moment. God's Own is next in at 3s. Sub Lieutenant 7-2. Sorry, Uxas Andra 13-2, and it's 12's bar.
Could we have some 17-2 sub-lieutenant, please? Because I think that's the answer. But I shall let wiser minds than mine explain who they fancy. G-Rod.
No, yeah, very straightforward race for me. God's Own will just win. I think that he is a class act around Aintree on quick ground, and he's going to get that. He ran an absolute cracker back there behind third intention.
Will it be that quick?
I think it will be. I mean, it's hard to say it because they did chuck loads of water on, didn't they, earlier in the week? But I can understand why they've done it. You know, they're under a lot of pressure.
Keep it safe.
But I think it, it's going to be good on the Thursday, and I don't see him watering overnight.
Okay.
So good ground. The good God's Own loves good ground at Aintree, and there's going to be loads of pace on as well. I mean, there's a bunch of front runners in this who are just going to set the race up nicely for him.
Didn't you think it was disappointing at Cheltenham?
Well, he was travelling really well coming down the hill, and
except for the final furlong.
Well, he made a very bad mistake. I think it was 2 out or 3 out, just coming down the hill, and I think it knocked the stuffing out of him. I think it's worth another chance.
You having a decent bet on him?
Yeah, I'm quite confident because I'm not. I don't like any of the others really. Fox Norton's an admirable horse, but I don't think he's anything special. And the same about Sub Lieutenant, very similar type to Fox Norton. You know, runs well, but nothing special. On his day, God's Own is a really class act.
Okay, you still haven't talked me out of Sub Lieutenant. Perhaps you can, DJ.
I think Sub Lieutenant should be favourite, Bruce. He's got the strongest form. He's an improver. He's only 8. There's still more to come. He should be favourite. I think he's the most likely winner. But the horse I think that is most overpriced is Justice Hill. Like if Graham fancies God's Own, Justice Hill absolutely obliterated God's Own in that graduation chase at Kempton last season. I think he beat him by 8 lengths. He looked a rejuvenated character earlier on this season. He beat Camping Ground by 8 lengths again at Kempton, 2.5 miles, and then he hammered T for 2 at Huntington. He was beaten 7 lengths in the King George. I thought it was an okay run. And I thought he ran better than the distance he was beaten suggests in the Ryanair. He was beaten 18 lengths by Undeso, but he was still bang there coming down the hill. Cheltenham is not his track. I think Aintree is more his track. This is his race. 2.5 miles on a flat track is Justice Hill's bread and butter. And at 12-1, he'd be the one for me.
What's your betting strategy going to be, DJ?
I'll just back Justice Hill. Like I think Sub Lieutenant will probably win. I think he'll go off about 9-4 or 2-1. But at 12-1, I can't let Justice Hill go each way.
Each way? How much are you going to have on? 40 quid?
I wouldn't be a huge punter now.
20 quid?
Yeah, maybe score each way, yeah.
Good man. Excellent. We've got a wedding to save up for, haven't you?
I do, yeah.
Oh, have you proposed yet?
No,
Still happening in May.
You have now.
Yeah. The worst thing is it's edging ever closer, which is getting a bit scary, yeah.
Okay, well, it's still a mystery exactly when, but we've heard May, so stand by for that, Aoife. We know you listen. Tom Nugent, what do you think is going to happen in the Melling Chase?
Yeah, Sub Lieutenant for me. I think that run in behind Undeso is very, very good, and I'd have that ahead of Fox Norton's run behind Specialty Ara.
Okie dokes. Jolly good. Right, 4:05 then. It's the Topham. How many runners here? 30 runners. Good Lord. So you should be betting about 8 places each way, Tom. What's the latest on the Topham?
It's 8-1 the field. Go Conquer is your favourite at the moment. Bovroy is next in at 10s alongside Asdemi, Gold Present and Seafood. Henryville is 12-1 and it's 14's bar.
Do you fancy this race much, G-Rod?
I do, yeah, I like this race.
Oh, good, excellent. Who do you like?
The problem is I just struggle to explain why, because I've just got a gut feeling that these horses are going to run well, but I'll try my best.
Okay. Sometimes, it's difficult for a tipster, isn't it? Because you get those gut feelings and you can't really articulate them, can you? As I'm sure you're about to show.
I'm going to try.
Go on then.
Bouvray for Nichols. Now, a very similar type to Ardemay, who won the Sefton, I think, earlier there in the year for the same stable. Now, an absolute character. Never really sure what he's going to do either. I mean, he doesn't really like to win, but I can see them running him up with a pace this time, a bit like they did with Ardemay, and he's just the sort who might take to this quirky type of test.
Okay. That's the best you can do.
Yeah.
That was all right.
The other one is Seafood for Richard Newland, who, if memory serves me right, ran around these fences a few times when trained by another trainer. I just caught my eye that Richard Johnson was booked to ride this from a long way out. I mean, we're talking on Monday, Newland had Johnson on, and he doesn't usually ride it. I just think that will run well.
Okay. An extra point if you can tell me who used to train Seafood. David
Sandra
Jennings,
Hughes,
you'll get that, won't you?
Hughes.
There you go. I'm just looking at I just randomly pressed something to try and find that. The Connaught National in June of 2015. Seafood finished 7th, and Rogue Angel, who many people, including my learned friend Paul Keeley, think is going to win the Grand National. Anyway, that's absolutely irrelevant. What we do want to know is, who do you fancy, DJ?
Bruce, I'm not a big fan of races over the National. I love the National to watch, but from a punting perspective, I'm not a huge fan of it. But I have been all over a horse for this race for the last couple of months, and it is called Henryville, trained by Harry Fry. I think I've told the whole world why I fancy it, so I'll have another go. It was third in the Sefton to Asdemi earlier on in the campaign off 141. Ran really, really well. Travel well. It did make a mistake at the Fine Avon, but it's the type of jumper. It doesn't get very high at his fences, and it actually suits Aintree because he can kind of flick through the top of them. I thought he ran an absolute. If you go back to his run in the Brown Advisory Plate or whatever it's called now, it will say that he finished 9th and he was beaten 25 lengths. Anything that could have went wrong did go wrong. He was keen at the start. The start was horrible for him. He was hampered midway through the race. He hit the 4th last. He ran far better. He was still on the bridle on the home turn. He ran really, really well. He was only beaten 25 lengths. This has been the plan all year. I have serious faith in Harry Fry. He's booked late in Aspel. I'm not quite sure why Noel Feely is not riding. He doesn't actually have a ride in the race, but he's booked late in Aspel. He's won 2 nationals, has a great record over the national fences. I'd imagine Harry Fry has had this race in his head for possibly a year or longer, and I think Henryville will win.
Very persuasive stuff, David Jennings. Have you got an opinion on this one, Tom?
Giro took the words out of my mouth with Seafood there. I would go as far as to say I think Dr. Richard Newland is probably the best plot trainer in the UK, in my opinion. I think he's very, very good to lay one out for a big day. Seafood handles the track well, and obviously Richard Johnson being booked is a big plus. So I'd be pretty sweet on Seafood's chance. Eastlake might have an each-way chance, but is up a fair bit in weight from winning this last year. But Seafood for me.
I'm definitely going to do forecasts and tricasts on Bouvray, Henryville and Seafood. Thank you, chaps. 2 more races to look at.
Check out this incredible horse racing offer from Paddy Power. For the first 5 races at Aintree today, it's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes 2nd. Exclude shop bets. Max £20 per race. TNC supply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
More Grade 1 action, of course. At 4:40, it's the Dunbar Sefton Novices Hurdle. 3 miles, 149 yards, 12 runners. How do Paddy Power bet?
The World's End is your 9-4 favourite at the moment. Constantine Bay is 3-1. West Approach 9-2. Keeper Hill is 12s. Ballymallon is 14s, alongside a whole loading at 16s bar.
David Jennings, you go first this time.
I fancy Moulin Avant, Bruce. I backed him in the Albert Bartlett and he did a little bit of a setback and he didn't run. But I was talking to Noel Meade a couple of weeks before that, and he thought that they had found whatever problem it was that got him beaten at Thurles, and that he was hoping to have him right for Aintree and Punchestown. He's 16-1. He's a good horse. His maiden hurdle win at Punchestown has worked out really, really well. Manila Till Dawn, who might or might not have won the Grade 2 Novice Hurdle at Punchestown or at Fairyhouse on Sunday, was second. Run for Dave, who ran in the same race, was third in the same race, was third. And if you go back to his bumper win at Galway, back in second, beating a half a length, was a horse called Brelade. So his form is rock solid. He was fourth to Det Duty in a Grade 2 at Navan in December. Jumped really poorly that day. He was beaten 9 lengths, but he still ran quite well. I think a test like this is tailor-made for him, and he'll certainly run better than a 16-1 shot.
Moulin Avant. I presume that means windmill in the wind. Did you do French, G-Rod, at school?
No, sadly German for me.
You did German, yeah?
Not that I'm really good at German either.
Oh, okay, fair enough. All right. Who do you fancy, G-Rod?
I should point out that this is probably the whole race of the meeting that I've got the worst record in. I always fancy something really strongly for this race, and it always runs appallingly. I can't explain why. So here we go.
Hear this, so Graham?
Yeah, here we go. West Approach. Everyone's been tipping it for every race that it's ever run in all season. It's been running in against top class stayers. Nichols Canyon last time out pulled up, but it ran a crack of the time before. Behind, you know what I mean, Harry. It's the best horse in the race, and I don't think this is a strong Grade 1. If he's ever going to win one, West Approach, this is the one.
That Cheltenham run does take a bit of explaining, though, doesn't it, G-Rod? I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't competitive, was it?
No, I didn't fancy him, though. I know loads of people did, but he's massively outclassed, wasn't he?
Okay, so this is a step down in quality.
Yeah, and I think that
get the job done. Yeah,
I always think this is a poor Grade 1. I mean, I love the World's End a bit, but I think he's going to be a great chaser. But I think the ground's quick enough for him, and he comes off the back of a fall. He's worth taking on.
Okay, Tom, what's your view?
Give a squeak to Constantine Bay. He was banged there 3 out, and the Albert Bartlett got badly hampered. I'd say that wasn't his running in the finish, and I'd give him a shout here.
Okay, the card culminates with the 20-runner Weatherby's Private Bank Standard National Open National Hunt Flat Race. It's a Grade 2, and it looks bloody difficult. Solve it, G-Rod.
Yeah, as always with bumpers, you're kind of guessing a bit, and I'm going to guess at Clondor Castle, because I had a good word for this first time out when it won at Stratford. Very, very strong on it, the stable, and I didn't back it because I did a prior bit of research, and Fergal O'Brien ran in the race, and he said that he really fancied his as well, and that went off short price, 6-4. Clondor Castle went off 5-1. What happened? Well, I think Clondor Castle was backed actually. Anyway, it bolted up. I was absolutely gutted, yeah, because if Fergal hadn't said he fancied it, I would have had a real good bet on Clondor Castle. But if Fergal fancied him and fancied his one, and Clondor Castle thrashed it, I suppose that suggests the form's all right. Now we've also got to explain why the stable jockey Adrian Heskin is riding Black Op for the other one. It's hard to say. I just think that this is a Brookhouse horse, Black Op. He's obviously brought his horses back to Tom Jules this year, and Clondor Castle is not. I just wonder if maybe they're trying to keep Brookhouse sweet.
I can tell you why he's not.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
because
Black Op is twice the horse that Clondor Castle is.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Go on then, DJ.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Go on, just piss all over G-Rod's hard studying.
Well, first of all, I thought Western Rider was very unlucky in the champion bumper at Cheltenham. He was far too far back and made up ground in the middle of the track where horses find it very hard to do. He came out of that race. I came out of that race thinking he was definitely going to win the Aintree bumper. But the big problem is I was just praying that Black Op would not turn up. And now Black Op has turned up. I don't know what to do.
Do a forecast.
Because this Black Op could be something seriously special. He beat the horse that is the hardest horse to pronounce in training. Let me have a go. Clayman Taken Forgan, is it?
That's all right.
Is it Clayman Taken Forgan?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So Clayman Taken Forgan, bizarrely, is favourite for this race. Black Op hammered him on his debut for Tom George. That bumper in Doncaster looked a really good bumper. And if you just watch the race again, your eye is just drawn to Black Op the whole way through. They pulled 11 lengths clear of the third horse of Alan King's, who has since, I think, ran quite well, Canford Chimes. I think Canford Chimes is the horse that travelled like a dream and went 101 at Exeter. He was third. It looked a really good bumper. I have a feeling this is probably Tom George's best young horse, Black Op. And the way he won at Doncaster, I have to back him. I think he could be really good.
Okay, but you prepared for Western Rider to come and chin you as well, are you?
I'd be surprised if Black Op or Western Rider didn't win.
Okay, G-Rod, your beast is a 20-1 shot. Boring Jennings is going for a 9-2 shot, and
it's
Western
because
Rider's
the market
4s.
always overreacts for these jockey second strings, and I love that angle.
Okay.
The jockey second string.
It's form though, Graham.
Well, it's a bumper, isn't it? I mean, we don't know how good these horses are.
Black Op has beaten easily Clayman Fork and Tegan, who was third in the champion bumper.
Yeah, but he might not be any good, Claimer for taken. We don't know, do we? He's only had 4 runs. We're still learning about him.
Come on, get stuck
Yeah,
in.
true.
Don't stand for that. Trying to make out you're a rubbish tipster. Come on, man. Stand up for yourself.
He's
Tom,
better than me.
Tom Nugent, a show of betting and your fancy on the last.
Yeah, Clayman taking Forgan, they're 7-2 favourite now. Western Rider 4s. Black Op 9-2, 6-1 if the cap fits, and it's 14-1 bar. I've been cut off at the pass by DJ here again. I really, really like Black Op. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off favourite at those early. I can't understand why Clayman taking Forgan is your 7-2 favourite at the moment. I think Black Op will be shorter than 9-2 at the off anyway.
Okay, and DJ's very wrong with claiming taking Forgan because it's actually quite an easy one to pronounce. Everyone's got it absolutely perfect. Right, let's get the naps for day 2 at Aintree.
This will not be beaten.
We're going to do this in the order of persuasive and quality of your arguments over the course of this postcard. So Tom Nugent, you've been best. You go first.
Sub-lieutenant.
Sub-lieutenant.
If I'm behind Graham, I'm giving up here.
Sub-lieutenant in the 325. Okay, Graham.
Godzone 325.
Righto. And David Jennings.
I'm just hoping that's sarcasm. I'm ashamed to say I'm going for a horse in the Topham, but Henryville has been my idea of the Topham winner, the 405 all season.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck with your tips. I hope you win loads of money. And thank you very much for listening. I hope the guys have been useful. Enjoy Ladies' Day. And don't forget to catch the Grand National Postcast as we look ahead to the big one.